Hello, how are you? Welcome once again to Boulevard Bullies HQ. AEW just debuted on TNT, and it's guaranteed to be the most overanalyzed piece of wrestling that has happened probably ever.
It's going to be dissected from every news source known to man, but we want to let everybody know it's all about the enjoyment of the viewers. That's why we're here.
Sure, there are a lot of overanalyzers out there, probably more than ever before in wrestling, but the Boulevard Bullies refuse to be out overanalyzed. We have developed the most intricate, detail-oriented, in-depth mathematical formula to clock your wrestling enjoyment.
And what do we call this genius idea that we have to bring to the people?
Can I say it? You want to say it together? You want to try to say it together?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. The Boulevard Bullies Pro Wrestling Enjoyment Theorem! Yes! Yeah! It's simple, really. We take the 2 hours worth of time that you'll be spending watching the AEW broadcast, and we divide them into 8 15-minute intervals. We are going by 15-minute time intervals. Yes. We're not rating match, commercial, segment, whatever. We are clocking the entire 2 hours of the life that you have spent to watch this program.
Real-time enjoyment in 15-minute intervals.
Yes. Then what we do is we take each of those 8 15-minute segments of time and we rate them 0 to 30 on a very carefully developed star rating system. After that's done and we've watched the entire 2 hours, what we do is we take the first 4 15-minute segments and we average them out and divide that number by 2, and that gives you X. Then what we do is we take sections 5 through 8 and we average those enjoyment levels out of 30 stars, and we divide those 30 stars by 2. Then what you do...
That gives you Y.
And that gives you Y. Exactly.
So now you have X, your enjoyment factor for the first half of the show. Then you have Y, your enjoyment factor for the second half of the show.
And after we've compiled X and Y's data, what we do is we smash those two numbers together and average that out. After that, the final step, and this is all pretty much rudimentary math, is you divide that final number by 3, giving you your final total of enjoyment level per 2-hour living experience out of 5 stars.
A nice, easy to digest 5 stars. Even Dave Meltzer could do it. So by the end of this video, using the Boulevard Bullies Pro Wrestling Enjoyment Theorem, we're gonna generate a score out of 5 stars from me, Steve. We're gonna have a score out of 5 stars from Patrick.
And please, feel free to use your own Boulevard Bullies Pro Wrestling Enjoyment Theorem and leave it in the comments below. Let's get right into it. 8 p.m. to 8:15. Time section 1 of 8. What did you think of the actual first 15 minutes?
Jim Ross opened up with Tony Schiavone. That was great. They made some progress because it used to not be so good. They had a great Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara promo package, and he was jump roping on top of a building.
Yeah, he was parkouring.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay. I was gonna give it a 25 out of 30. There was no MJF in the first 15 minutes, so it was a -2 demerit, 23 out of 30. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I was buying into the hype of it just being a new show, pro wrestling history. I gave it a 26 of 30 stars. Also, I have a note here that there was a cutter. The Guevara Rhodes match lasted into section 2.
So 8:16 to 8:30. There was 25 minutes of no commercials, and now we're in the depths of all the commercials.
Right, in the 8:16 to 8:30 time enjoyment range, there were 2 separate commercials.
Brutal.
So I went 20 out of 30.
I was going 18 out of 30 with a last minute +5 because at the end of that segment, MJF music hits.
Yes, so MJF did appear. So you went 23 twice in a row.
Yeah, double. Michael Jordan. 8:31 to 8:45. MJF is in the ring already.
Yes.
He squashed Brandon Cutler in like 4 minutes, which is great. Goes straight to Jay and Silent Bob. Promo with Chris Van Vliet. A lot of tag team tournament stuff. No one's really going anywhere. I did 15 out of 30.
17 of 30.
Okay. Keep it going. 8:46 to 9 p.m. JR uses the phrase, 2 really skilled dudes.
Yeah.
Hey, dude!
Hangman Page came down. He was so amped. He was giving all the fans bones. And he just
the
punched the kid. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Earl Hebner was the referee, so I have 18 out of 30. I'm going to go up to 22 out of 30. What do you got?
So many commercials. I'm losing energy. And the camera angles for all these different high-risk maneuvers, they're still as poorly edited as WWE. Yep. I got really down on this one. 9 of 30. Ooh. Now we are in the 9:01 to 9:15 interval, which is the 5th and the 1st of the 2nd hour. I really just wasn't feeling it. I was tired. You know what I gave it?
Is that what I think you gave it?
Yeah. I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5. It was just slow. And I wanted to start off our 9 o'clock hour with a bang. And instead I got a little fucking poop poop.
That's where I made a note that had said, I need more beer. We went into the women's title match intros. Britt Baker came out. She's a dentist.
Right.
She doesn't wrestle. She's a dentist. She's studying. She's a dentist. I don't care.
Right.
9 out of 30.
Interval 6 of 8. 9:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. It was the women's match the entire time.
Yep. Nyla Rose senton onto the chairs to the outside. Pretty great. Riho's double stomp. Pretty great. Riho won the title. She is the first ever AEW Women's Champion. I went high because there was a lot of wrestling in that. I went to 24 out of 30.
Nice. I went to 20.
9:31 to 9:45. We had... What match was even happening?
Well, it was
here?
the finish of the women's.
Okay, cool. Oh, so I was ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
Sometimes a match will bleed over from a 9:30 to a 9:31, from a 9:45 to a 9:46, perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's what we're experiencing here, right here. But in the 9:30 to 9:45 time interval 7, you did see the finish of that women's championship match.
Yeah.
So I gave that interval a 15 out of 30.
I don't know why I gave this a 25 out of 30. Mainly because the finish of the match, you're getting into the main event picture. 25 out of 30, that's all I got to say about that. So we're in the last 15 minutes. Some quick notes. There's no Cracker Barrel mention. It's the last segment. The 6-man tag's happening. It's fast-paced. It's a Young Bucks match. It's an LAX match. There's a close-up of Chris Jericho. And then all of a sudden, Jon Moxley appears.
Jack Swagger coming out as well.
Jake Hager.
Jake Hager, Jack
is
Swagger.
The new name. Jake Hager is his new name.
Jericho formed a weird, unholy, bad guy faction of himself, LAX, Jack Hager, Jim Hager,
John Hager,
and Jimmy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, yes.
Sammy Guevara. Sammy Hagar and Jimmy Guevara.
I'm just going to tell you that I scored a 27 out of 30.
Oh my God.
Come on, you had Moxley, you had Glass, you had Jake Hager, which was not my favorite, but a surprise appearance.
I gave this last segment a 26 out of 30 because they won me back. They won me back with a whole bunch of just
26, 27, 26, 27. Pretty good. You know what? The votes are in. And by votes, I mean scores. The scores are in. 8 quadrants of 15-minute intervals out of 30 using the Boulevard Bullies Pro Wrestling Enjoyment Theorem. We're going to give you our scores right now.
So, Steve, your first 4 time sections, hours 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., you averaged a score of 20.75 out of 30 stars.
I won.
Okay. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., the second hour, you averaged an overall enjoyment score of 21.25 out of 30, which gives you an overall enjoyment level of 3.5 out of 5 stars.
All right.
Let's go through my statistics.
Yeah. Let's go look at your stuff.
Yeah.
So the average of your first half was 18 out of 30. The average of your second half was 16.5 out of 30. You're at a 2.875 out of 5 stars.
Sounds about right.
Easy math. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching another Boulevard Bullies HQ event. I hope the masses will also...
We refuse to be overanalyzed. We refuse to be out overanalyzed. Steve and I want everybody out there to take every single thing that you watch in regards to pro wrestling, and I want you to put it through the Boulevard Bullies Pro Wrestling Enjoyment Theorem.
2 plus 2 is 4. 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 2 plus 2 is 4.
I can see why this is so popular.